Okay, this video is for odd advantage 5548. The answer is yes and no. You have to set up, the key is setting up your technical drills. You gotta put them through the lens of fun games, right? You can teach technical skills using fun games. And then some technical skills, you just have to make the learning fun, right? So if you only had an hour session, you could space the first 15 minutes or 10 to 15 with one ball mastery move, and then each training, right? Each practice, you review on the ones that you learned from the past, and then you start stacking new ones, right? So you learn one a week, one a practice, or one a week, and then, or you could do, 1 week you focus on a chop, and then 1 week you focus on the drag, and then you review the chop, and the next week is, the next week you review the chop and the drag, and then you learn the L move, so it's a progression. So you could start with 10 to 15 is ball mastery. The next 15 minutes is dribbling sequence. My favorite is the one my skills trainer taught me. His name is Tom Turnbull. This is 27 years ago. It goes with 1 foot. You go outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. And that last touch comes across your body, and then you do the same sequence with your other foot. You go outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. But the key is to saying it out loud each time you do it, right? So that's going to help it become muscle memory. And what this is going to do is, since it's easy to memorize, it's easy to execute. If it's easy to execute, that means that it's right. Once it becomes muscle memory, then they're going to be able to get their heads up and not think about dribbling, right? That's key. You want to make their heads go up. And the second reason why this dribbling sequence is so powerful, because then it's going to start to combine with the ball mastery moves. So you're going to see kids go outside, outside, inside, outside, scissor, or outside, outside, inside, outside, chop, or outside, outside, so it's a connector. It's a foundation for dribbling that makes all other ball mastery drills more effective, right? It makes your ball mastery more effective. The third thing that you could play with them is something called the barrel game. And if you have a garbage can or a bucket or a barrel, and you put it in the center of a field, if you got access to it, and then you have all the kids line up with the ball in their hand, a few, like three steps around the barrel. I used to do this with my middle school team. Same thing. Put a garbage can right in the middle of the field and had everyone lined up, and then they got to juggle the ball using a bounce. They juggle the ball into the barrel, and it's going to help improve their first touch. It's going to improve their juggling abilities. It's a lot of fun because they're competing with their teammates. Then you go, so first you go either left or right foot with a bounce. Then you go left foot with a bounce. Then you go alternating feet with a bounce, right? So it will go right foot, bounce, left foot, bounce, right foot in. Or, with the right, it goes right, bounce, right, like kick it, bounce, kick it, bounce, kick it in. Or, maybe if they're even younger, it's just like kick, bounce, kick in, right? So just like literally one step away from the bucket, and this is how you start right in the beginning. And you could use, bouncy balls if the whatever, you got to make it fun, but also challenging. And then the next thing that you'll play with them, that you want to get some cones that you can knock over, right? And then you have the kids play 1v1, right? And this is the thing that they're working up to, because it incorporates ball mastery, the dribbling sequence, and also the juggling game to a degree, because each touch is from the juggling game, you could say, is kind of like a dribble, right? So if you use this pattern of skills and drills training every practice, by the end of the season, these kids are going to be tremendously better, right? You could do this. You gotta find some ball mastery moves, but you could tell them to do that dribbling sequence do laps around the field, right? Over and over and over. Outside, outside, inside, outside, inside. Saying it out loud. Outside, outside, inside, right? Then barrel game, then finish with 1v1. You know, when I coached a middle school team, you know, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, young kids, right? And, you know, similar age that you're talking about, maybe slightly older, but we did zero shooting on goal, and but yet, you know, when it got to the games, since we worked on ball mastery, it just gave them the fundamental skills to allow them to just really improve, right? So despite not focusing on shooting, you know, a lot of the parents came up to me and said, hey, like, you know, this spring all the kids look really good, right? And I trained with them in the fall, and they said, this spring our kids look really good. And that was the biggest compliment I received from them. And I didn't really care if they won a single game, because I knew that the skills and drills development that I was doing with them every practice would make them better players, and what the parents said at the end of the season confirmed it. So, right, you gotta encourage, right? If you could literally run this back with kids, right, from ages 5 to freaking as old as you want, and it's still these fundamental things, right? Ball mastery, dribbling sequences, juggling game. You could switch the size of the ball to tennis ball, right? You could make it compete against people, make it far away, right? Like you increase the distance that you juggle to the barrel, and then 1v1. Like these are timeless skills and drills games. Doesn't matter what age group you are, that players can improve on. So. Just, you know, I hope this is gonna help you. Maybe maybe go about training a little differently. I think, you know, I went from being the worst player on my team, and then I started going to this guy named Tom Turnbull, who did the same exact sequence. This is where I learned it from. The same exact sequence of skills and drills: ball mastery, dribbling sequences, barrel game, and then we finished with 1v1. We did that every single every single session. That's what we did. And the following season, I scored more goals than the whole team combined. This is when I was playing, rec soccer. So I hope this helps, and reach out with any questions. All right, thank you.